Hello, welcome to another lesson. I hope you're doing okay. So today we are starting a completely new chapter, a new unit called Across the Divide. We are talking about Northern Ireland. Let's have a look at the brochure before getting started. Your brochure should look like this. Unit 6, Across the Divide, with the question, how can communities live in the same city despite their differences? You will notice that we have two flags on this opening page, on this cover. The first flag has, it's for you to fill in, and the second one is for you to color in as well. The topic we will discuss is le village, le quartier, la ville. So we will focus on really how a territory can be used to promote unity, saying, yes, we have different communities, but we are one city, one village, one neighborhood. If we move on to the next page, you will see that we have a little map of Northern Ireland and the Irish Free State, or the Republic of Ireland. And you will see that the flags correspond, one of them to Northern Ireland, the other one to the Irish Free State. You have the table of contents as usual. And then we have some vocabulary, which I will ask you to look over. I will send you a link. I'll probably modify this before sending it to you. I'll put a QR code with exercises on this vocabulary, and I will send you the link if I haven't added the QR code by the time you get this brochure. Extra vocabulary space. And we have in this brochure a few exercises on vocabulary. We'll do them together, but not today. Some grammar. And finally, we have the introduction. This is what we're going to do today. If you're ready, you have your brochure, you have your pen, or you have, your computer so you can write on the digital brochure. Let's get started. All right. So Unit 6, Across the Divide, and you will see that the Union Jack, that is the flag that's red, white, and blue, corresponds to Northern Ireland. Indeed, Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, which is made up of Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales. While the Irish Free State, the Republic of Ireland, is a separate country, and it is a member of the European Union. And their flag looks a little bit like the French flag, but the colors are different. So we have green, white, and orange. Let's move on to our introduction. In the introduction, we have a picture. So let's describe it. We can see two teenagers, a boy and a girl, with Londonderry in the center of the picture, separating them. London in Londonderry looks partly erased, partiellement effacé, so that Derry stands out. Il ressort. Maybe these two teenagers from different communities are in love because they are looking at each other, but there is a barrier between them. Perhaps these teenagers are both from Derry, but one of them is Catholic and one is Protestant. Now, I'd like to stop now. Just coming back to our map of, the island of Ireland, you see that there is a separation between Northern Ireland and the Irish Free State. Traditionally, the Irish have been in majority Catholic, while British people are, again, in the majority Protestant. Both of those religions are branches of Christianism. Both of these religions are, different types of Christians, but in Northern Ireland especially, because Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, there have been religious tensions between Catholics on the one hand and Protestants on the other hand. And these tensions have led to a civil war in the beginning of the 20th century, and then another civil war at the end of the 20th century. So that was quite recent. They had bombs, they would kill people in the street. It was crazy. So that's why I'm insisting on maybe one of them is Catholic, maybe one of them is a Protestant, because in Northern Ireland, it was extremely difficult for people from those two religions to get together, to be friends, or to date. If you take your brochure, you'll see that we are going to watch a video called Teens from Derry in Northern Ireland talk about their city. And I'd like you to fill in this table with the information we learn about Derry, which is the city in which the teenagers live. So I want to know about the people, the history, and the architecture.
At the heart of our city's story are its historic walls and the River Foyle.
Over the years, our city's name has changed
And grown. And grown.
It is also known as the Walled City. It is famous for its walls,
But in many ways, this river has become our biggest wall.
symbolising the divide between our people.
Irish against British.
Catholic against Protestant.
Green against blue.
Although it is a small city, many important events have taken place here.
It is a long story, and it is written on the walls.
Decisive moments in our country's history.
A place where people have taken a stand.
Events which still resonate today.
The history of conflict and resistance have shaped the fabric of this city and its people, leading us to where we are today.
All right, so you can watch the video again as many times as you like, and then we are going to correct. So let's correct. Exchanging stories, changing histories. So what do we learn about the teenagers' city? So, exchanging stories, changing histories is it's not the title of the video, but it is what is written on the screen in the beginning of the video. So what do we learn about the teenagers' city? Well, what about the people? There is a division between the people who live in Derry. They say that in some ways, the river is the biggest wall, in that it symbolizes the divide between our people. Irish versus British, Catholic versus Protestant, green versus blue. So we really have a very strong division in Derry and in Northern Ireland in general between Irish, British, Catholic, Protestant, green and blue. What about the history? Well, we know that the city's name has changed. We saw it on the screen. They say over the years, our city's name has changed. We see that it went from Derry to Londonderry, then to Derry Londonderry, which seems to be a compromise between both names. They say that lots of important events have happened in their city. The murals show some scenes of violence, so the history of the city is probably a little bit violent. And they say the history of conflict has shaped the fabric of this city and its people. And finally, what about the architecture? They show the architecture on the screen, on the video. They say at the heart of our city's history are its historic walls. And indeed, Derry or Londonderry is extremely famous for its walls. It is also known as the Walled City, It is famous for its walls. There are lots of murals and painted walls. They say their city's history is written on the walls. In this unit, we will study the city of Derry, what people live there, how they cope with the division between Protestants and Catholics, Irish and British. And yeah, we're going to talk about the city and how people can live together despite the differences. So I hope this introduction was nice for you. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.